Like everybody, I find that I can have good days and bad days. And on those good days, it just seems that nothing goes wrong. Everything that I do just gets sorted out and achieved, and I come at the end of the day and I find that there's loads of things that I've managed to be able to complete. My little to-do list is all ticked off. Stuff like these videos get done without any problems at all. But on my bad days, I find that that's the complete opposite. There are days where I wake up lacking in motivation, where I know I have so many things that I have to do that I'm feeling somewhat overwhelmed. But I've learned over the course of time some strategies and tactics to help me get through that and actually just get the stuff done. So my name's Elaine Sullivan. I'm a coach working with women to enable them to gain more control, feel less stressed, and create a life of their own making. And in that creating a life of their own making, getting stuff done has to happen, regardless of whether you feel motivated or not. So I'm here today to tell you some of the insider secrets that I've learned about time management. And the first one that I learned was time management doesn't exist. You see, time is not something that we can manage. It's not something that we can control. Time itself is a linear process that starts at 7 o'clock in the morning for us, or 11 o'clock at night when we go to bed, and continues regardless of what we do within it. Which is why sometimes it rushes past, or alternatively seems to drag, solely dependent on how we're looking at it. That fantastic party that we've enjoyed being part of, and suddenly we find it's all over and done with. Or alternatively, that, as I said, that to-do list that we don't really want to get done. So how do we approach time then, rather than try and manage it in a way that's actually going to work for us? So let's get started and I'll give you some tips. So we all have 24 hours a day, and we've all experienced those wonderful days where everything gets done, or when time flies past. And that's purely about how we're looking at the day itself, or the thing that we're trying to do. Our brain's excited, it's motivated, we want to get the thing done, whatever the thing is. And we end up just running through the task without a thought. There's no urgency, there's no priority, there's no sense of importance regarding the task. It's just something that we want to do. We also find that, I don't know, some of the ladies in the house, if you're gentlemen too, I'm not being sexist here, but suddenly your best friend is going to turn up at your house. Your house is untidy, you don't want them to see it. How quickly can you achieve a sense of tidiness in the 10-15 minutes before they knock on the door? It's absolutely amazing, because you're prioritizing what needs to be done. You're not deciding that you're going to dust all of the furniture and put bleach down the loo and everything else. It's all top surface. But it gives you a sense that things have been done, and when they walk in you feel comfortable about it. So when we go to look at other tasks that we need to achieve, how can we look at doing the most but within the least time? Now there's something that's called Pareto's law, or the 80-20 law, which means that to achieve 80% of what we want to do only takes 20% of our time. So we need to take a look at what is the highest priority. Let's go back to the house cleaning bit. The highest priority is to quickly shove everything into the dishwasher, to put away the breakfast cereal of the morning. It's not about necessarily the lower priority stuff of let's go and make the bed or whatever, because the priority is what is somebody going to see. So when I'm doing my work, if I'm creating a presentation or a talk for somebody or writing materials for my coaching practice, I take a look at what is the most important things. What are the things that I need to communicate first? Those are the high priority things, and because they come quickly to my mind, it means that they get done quickly. And the 80-20 rule works. I can get 80% of my stuff done in the 20% of my time. So if I have 5 things to do, rather than doing 5 things to 100% quality, if I do them to 80% quality, I can get them done in exactly the same amount of time. The reason being is that the last 20% of everything is the most difficult part of it, and that's the bit that takes 80% of your time. So take a look at the things that you do and see whether or not you can prioritise the small steps inside of what you do to make sure that you gain the maximum amount out of what you do within the minimum time. The other thing often happens is that you may end up with lots and lots of things that you want to do, but don't feel that you've got enough time to do any of them, and therefore you don't do any of them. So a way around that is another technique. It's called the Pomodoro technique, and it's about dividing your day up into small bite-sized chunks. Now that you might want to start with very, very small time limits, maybe 15, 20 minutes. But what you do is you take a look at the thing that you need to do next. And rather, again, deciding that you're going to do the whole thing, you're going to time box it. And you're going to say, I am going to do this task only for 20 minutes, or whatever the length of time is that you choose. But I suggest that you keep the time boxes down to quite small to start off with, because the longer the time box, the more likely you are to run out of steam, and you know when you're time boxing something, that's the last thing that you want to do. You want to be able to go in, have the challenge of how much can you get done within that, say, 20-minute period, and get it done. And then if you are interested, if your motivation does increase by actually doing the thing, then allow it a little bit more time. But the 20-minute chunks with a little break in between enables your brain to focus. It builds up the focus, you're then productive, and you get things done more quickly. Chunking your day up into this and putting your highest priority tasks into a Pomodoro, a little 20-minute section, and knowing that all you have to do is achieve 80% of that task, or aim to achieve 80% of that task, means that you'll get so much more done, so much more quickly. The other thing to note is that it's about how we think about the task that we're doing. Talked about being, enjoying stuff. If you have a list of things that you're saying that you should do or must do, the chances are that actually they don't appeal to you at all. Now, as a businesswoman, probably the best thing that you can do is to accept that the shoulds and the musts probably will result in you not doing them. You won't do them because they're not really those things that make your heart sing. If as a coach such as myself, I hate doing things like my books. I'm not particularly great at it. I can get it done, but I know because I'm not motivated by it, I actually take a lot longer. Now, my time would be best done doing the stuff that I love, because I get that done quickly. I'm highly motivated to get it done, and I really enjoy it. So why not delegate that accountancy work? Why not give it to somebody else who does love to do it? Because I bet you they will do it in half the time that I would do it, meaning that I can earn from what I love doing, they can earn from what they love doing, and actually everything gets done far quicker. So there's 3 little techniques for you. Think about delegating the stuff that you don't like. Think about doing stuff into bite-sized chunks, and think about doing it as on the Pareto's rule with 80-20. Get the 80% done within 20% of your time, and therefore you end up allowing time to work for you rather than being a slave to it.